What is going on, Trash Talkers? We're back with another episode for you. In today's video, we're going to go over our starts and sits for Week 12 in the NFL. All that and much more coming your way right now! Hey Trash Talkers, over 85% of you are still not subscribed to the channel. Please be sure to hit that red subscribe button and turn on notifications, as it will help us create more daily content for you. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Alright Nick, Week 12 got started off with a bang on Thursday with the 3 games that we saw on Thanksgiving. Now we get into the meat and potatoes of Week 12 and taking a look at what we have. Not a lot of great games, not a lot of really good spot starts and sits, but a lot of deeper plays for players that may need somebody who, you know, has to replace a Russell Wilson who's not playing well, or a Patrick Mahomes who's on a bye week. So why don't we go through our starts and sits, and Nick, why don't you get us started? Start us off with your quarterbacks.
Yeah, for my start quarterback, I really like Jimmy Garoppolo against the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings gave up a ton of big plays to the Green Bay Packers last week. I expect the same. Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, these are big play guys, and I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be a big play quarterback this week with those weapons. I like him as my start. And for my sit, Carson Wentz against the Tambay Buccaneers. The Bucs defense is incredible, and a lot of people want to discredit their secondary, but outside of Michael Pittman, who does Carson Wentz really have to throw to? And if you look at his throwing stats, he's just not playing well. It's really the Jonathan Taylor show, so I'm staying away from Carson Wentz, especially against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers.
For my starts and sits at the quarterback position, I'm starting Taylor Heineke against the Seattle Seahawks defense. The Seahawks defense is an absolute atrocity. They are one of the worst defenses in the NFL against both the pass and the run. They cannot stop a nosebleed if they had a napkin. At this point, there's literally nothing they can do. Taylor Heineke, not the greatest play, but if you have Patrick Mahomes or if you have Russell Wilson, you have a guy that you need to stop playing. Taylor Heineke, great start. For my sit, though, I'm actually sitting a big name here, Aaron Rodgers. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to struggle mightily against the Los Angeles Rams. Now, you might say, well, Mike, the Rams just got blown out 2 weeks ago by the San Francisco 49ers. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because they've had 2 weeks to fix those issues. 2 more weeks to get Von Miller ingrained in this defense. You still have Aaron Donald. You still have one of the best defenses in the NFL. And oh yeah, Elton Jenkins just tore his ACL. Who's Elton Jenkins, you ask? The starting left tackle for the Green Bay Packers, because he's replacing the other starting left tackle, David Bakhtiari. With nobody on the left side, I believe that Von Miller and Leonard Fournette are going to absolutely eat against this offensive line. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be under duress all day long, and I don't think he's going to have a lot of time to throw the ball. Jalen Ramsey is going to absolutely lock up Devonta Adams, and that leaves Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Evan Lazard as your guys that you need to go with. I don't like that at all. At the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers, I'm sitting him on the bench.
And for our running backs, I'm starting Cordaro Patterson against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Patterson making his return. The Falcons are looking for a big blowout victory to get over that huge loss, not only to the Patriots, but also to the Dallas Cowboys. They can't let it go 3 weeks in a row. Cordaro Patterson's going to get him out of this rut. He's going to get a lot of targets, and the Jacksonville defense is not good. There should be a lot of big plays for Cordaro Patterson. For my sit running back, I'm going with Myles Gaskin against the Carolina Panthers. Panthers defense is one of the best defenses in the league, and although they played so-so against the Washington football team, they're getting better and they're getting stronger. I really like them against Myles Gaskin, who hasn't been playing well. He's really a receiving back, and he's still going to be stopped by the Carolina Panthers, so I'm sitting Myles Gaskin this week.
For my start running back, I'm going with Ty Johnson of the New York Jets. Ty Johnson replacing Michael Carter, who's out 2 to 3 weeks with an injury. Mike LaFleur, the offensive coordinator for the Jets, has really found his stride running the ball with this team, and I believe that Ty Johnson is not only going to be the beneficiary of Michael Carter's injury, but also be a receiving back and an outlet guy for Zach Wilson, who is being thrust back into the starter role. I like Ty Johnson this week. For my sit running back, though, I'm going with Leonard Fournette against the Indianapolis Colts. I believe that Leonard Fournette, while he's a solid running back, a lot of teams are going to try to rely on him to be a flex guy or an RB3 that they could possibly use. At the end of the day, the Indianapolis Colts have one of the best rushing defenses in the NFL, and this is going to be a very pass-heavy attack because that's where the Indianapolis Colts are definitely going to lack against the Antonio Browns, the Mike Evans, the Chris Godwins of the world. Rob Gronkowski's back. I think this is going to be a very pass-heavy attack for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Leonard Fournette is not going to be involved. I'm setting him this week.
And for the wide receivers, my start of the week, Brandon Ayuk. I just told you how I like the big playability for Jimmy Garoppolo, and Brandon Ayuk is going to be on the receiving end of it. Brandon Ayuk has had 2 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. He's getting better in this offense. He's out of the doghouse for Kyle Shanahan, and he's getting more involved in this offense. I really like the trajectory of Brandon Ayuk. I believe that he has big playability, and it's a good week to start him. For my sit receiver, I'm going with A.J. Brown against the New England Patriots. There is nobody else on this Titans offense, and you know the Patriots take away your best weapon. We've seen it every single week for the entire season, so it's not going to change now. A.J. Brown's going to be double covered in this game, and there is not going to be a chance for him to even get a target because they won't even know where to throw the ball. He'll be so covered.
For my start wide receiver, I'm going with Kadarius Toney against the Philadelphia Eagles. Kadarius Toney is just one of those guys that has that twitch to him. And Nick, we've talked about this off camera, that Kadarius Toney is one of the up-and-coming wide receivers we're going to have in the NFL for a long time. He's a speedster that can also catch the ball and really do a lot of things down the field. I like his ability in this offense, and with Kenny Golladay locked up against Darius Slay, that's going to leave Kadarius Toney open all day long. I think he's going to eat against this Philly Eagles team. I believe at the end of the day, he is the best start in this game. Sticking with this game, though, I'm going to go to the Eagles side, and I'm sitting Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith, for as great of a season as he's had this year, I believe he's going to be locked up with James Bradberry. This is not a guy that I want to go ahead and challenge week in and week out. Devonta Smith is not up to the James Bradberry test just yet, and I think Jalen Hurts is going to stay away from that side. I think he's going to focus more on the Quez Watkins of the world, Dallas Goedert, and really getting that going. At the end of the day, I believe that Devonta Smith is not going to have the numbers that you need from a wide receiver too, so I'm sitting him this week.
And finally, for our tight ends, my start of the week, Noah Fant against the Los Angeles Chargers. Noah Fant, whenever he's on the field, and Teddy Bridgewater as well, these guys connect with each other. They have a great rapport, and that's going to continue with the Chargers because the Chargers linebackers and safeties are not faring that well against tight ends this year, and I expect Noah Fant to have a lot of opportunities, get a lot of targets, especially in PPR leagues. Noah Fant's going to be a big deal. Continue to start him as the weeks move on. And for my sit tight ends of the week, I'm going with CJ Uzomah against the Pittsburgh Steelers. CJ Uzomah has been up and down all year, and I expect this to be a down week. The Steelers have such a poor secondary that I believe it's the receivers who are going to be on the receiving end of some big plays. Uzomah is not going to be the one to get a lot of looks from Joe Burrow, and I just don't think that this is the week to play him.
For my start tight end, I'm going with Pat Friermuth, the Muth, coming out of Pittsburgh in that same game, Nick, that you just talked about. Friermuth is one of those guys that is going to be relied upon heavily, especially with Eric Ebron out with his injury for the next few weeks. Big Ben loves the big, slow tight end that can go up and catch the 50-50 balls. We've seen him in crunch time situations being relied upon in the red zone, and I believe he has a high upside, almost like Zach Ertz last week. I believe that Friermuth could have a multi-touchdown game against the Cincinnati Bengals. That's my start of the week at the tight end, and for my sit, I'm going with Dan Arnold against the Atlanta Falcons. I believe that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to have to run the ball, and when they don't, they're going to have to focus on getting the ball downfield as fast as possible. They're going to have to really try to compete with Matt Ryan in this offense, and Dan Arnold is not going to be in the script to get that done. I believe that he's going to end up being the odd man out yet again after putting up an absolute goose egg last week. I don't see him doing much more this week. All right, well, I want to hear from you guys, so let us know in the comments down below if you have any last-minute fantasy lineup questions that we can help out with. Let us know in the comments down below. All right, well, that's going to be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.